this week's episode, DriveX. So stay tuned for that. I did drop a little nugget last time that we were going to be introducing. We were going to be announcing some tool manufacturers and their sales coming up for November. Unfortunately, I haven't got all that information together yet. I know Texas Glass Tools has a couple sales going on, one with their ADAS equipment, one with Kerbo covers, exclusive sale with Kerbo covers. Spoke with Delta Kits. They're going to drop one. The pipe knife is going to drop one on the Pro set, so stay tuned for that one. And then Frog It Out is getting me their information on their sales. Been a little drop in communication. It's been a little crazy lately. Everybody understands that. We're going into a crazy little period. But other than that, exciting news. I am officially AGSC ADAS certified. I didn't get to do it at Autoglass Week, so I had to wait and do it now. So that's cool. Get your ADAS certification, your customer service certification, your technician certification, your master technician certification, and just go along. But enjoy this week's show with DriveX. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, where you are. This is James, the Ghost Set Killer, and this is Put 'em on the Glass podcast. We are bringing you another action-packed episode, and today's guest is...
My name is Rauno Siegler. I'm from Estonia, company DriveX.
DriveX. I will say that I ran into you on that would be the first day, Coffee with Troy Mason. I remember running into you and asking you if my tie matched my suit. Do you remember that?
Remember that I was completely taken away by your suit immediately. And remember, I complimented you.
You did. You absolutely did. And then obviously I seen you in passing quite a few throughout the week of Autoglass Week. But one thing that really stood out to me, impressed me, and just was so cool was when we were giving our talk, myself, Ben, and Alfredo, about becoming a champion. You were sitting right there listening to us, and you're not even a technician that I'm aware of. Are you a technician?
No, I wish I would, but I don't have the skills, so I really admire you guys.
Well, I was just like, man, this dude is and it's not like you were just there passing time. You were actually listening to what we said and everything. So I appreciate that. And I know so do the people on the panel with me, because we've talked about it a few times. And so thank you for attending all that. And then I see that you and Zuzu, we'll get to that a little bit later, but you and Zuzu made a friendship there, I would assume, or maybe you knew him before. But what actually drove you to come to Autoglass Week?
Actually, I was invited by our kind partner, Glass.com, and I know Daniel from way back. I mean, we spoke a year ago. Back then, our product really wasn't ready for the US market. And Daniel flew all the way to North Europe for another event, another conference, and we met up in Helsinki because it's our neighbor country, just 70 kilometers or 50 miles from my hometown. And we went up there, we had a beer or two. And then, he told me, a few months later that there's this amazing event. And that's how I got to know Autoglass Week. And I was there. It was just mind blowing to me what kind of event it has and the energy.
Yeah. What was you most impressed by? What do you hope to see in the future? Is there anything that you would change?
I would never change anything, because just the energy of people, I would say the brotherhood or the sisterhood for that matter, is just, elbow to elbow, like we're in this together, let's make the industry better. And it's also like, you guys are like the actual MVPs. You're like an NBA champion talking at the panel. I was like, wow, this is like so cool. And honoring the profession as a technician, I think is super important, very cool. So I wouldn't change a thing.
Well, there's definitely a group of us that we are wanting to make the profession a profession of technician. We're not installers, we're technicians. We want our profession to be respected the way that people respect, let's say, mechanics, or people respect, the medical profession, or they respect the law profession. We want to have that same level of respect with what we have going on. And the only way we can do that is if we respect ourselves and we project that out into the public. So there's a group of us champions that get together, and we really try to bring everybody up and just make them feel like they deserve to feel, because what we do is a very special skill set. It really, truly is.
They're like surgeons, I would say, like neurosurgeons for vehicles. It's just, the commitment that I heard also in the panel and during the event that I spoke to multiple champions. I just approached them, had a conversation and just, practicing, visualizing, like trying to get the best out of yourself and, friendly competition with the other technician, helping each other, mentorship, coaching. I've thought, wow, like why don't we have this in Europe? We have to have this in Europe.
Yeah, well, there is the AGE. I'm not sure what they do. I don't know if they have an event, but I know they're kind of like a governing body. And there's a new one that just started in Australia. I'm not sure if they're up and fully running yet, or if they are. I think they have a show, or they're going to have a show. But you're right. Like, I think it needs to become a global community of, respected people talking to each other and sharing information and sharing advice, because at the end of the day, the consumer driving these vehicles, they're the ones that benefit from us sharing our knowledge. And as far as the competition goes, I've heard, now I don't know because I didn't come into competing until 2019, but prior to 2019, none of the technicians really talked to each other. But
Wow, really? Okay.
yes, I am very fortunate because I met Cody Allen in 2018, past champion, and he literally took me under his wing. And then I started in 19, I started meeting all the other champions, and we just kind of bonded. And since then, it's like everybody, we try to help everybody, because, the outlook that we have is if we're competing against each other or we're helping someone
Hmm.
compete, I don't want to beat you on a technicality. I want to
Yeah.
beat you at your best. I want to beat you at your best, to know that what I put forth is absolute the best that I could do. And if I fell short, so be it. But we'll help each other out to
Uh-huh.
get to that point. And it is a great camaraderie that we're building throughout all the competitions, not just the Technician Olympics, which is the one I competed in,
Hmm.
but all levels of competitions. I don't know if you've seen the special moment before the repair competition where all the competitors got together and they all had a prayer,
Uh-huh.
they all talked, they all, right before they went on the floor and competed against each other. It was beautiful. It was so uplifting. It really was.
Definitely so. I mean, I can see that you honor sportsmanship, if I could use that term, being an honest sportsman or an athlete, also takes practice, but also the principles. I want to beat you on honest terms. So I think I really respect that. I wish I could have seen the moment you described, but next time
Mm.
I'm there, I'm really I would spend more time at the area. And I was also curious, where did all those vehicles come from for the competition? I know
Yeah,
it's a
they're rental
separate
cars.
story.
Yeah,
Exactly.
they're rental cars. Yep, they're rental cars from the area, and the reason why they're different is they try super hard. The organization tries super hard to get everybody the same cars. Now the problem is
Hmm.
that our competition is growing each year. We're getting more and more
Yeah.
competitors, which is great, but that
Uh,
also limits the chances of everybody getting the same vehicle. But they are all rental cars. They all are rented, and they all go back. The reason why this skill set is so important for us is that these
mm.
vehicles get re-released into the public, so they have to be a safe install. So not only are the
Oh,
judges like
yeah.
really judging skill and customer service and personality and all, but they also have to make sure that that's a safe install. So like,
Absolutely. Yeah.
not just anybody's going to show up and be like, because if it's an unsafe install, the judge will stop them, and then the car won't get
Mm.
finished, and then us champions or somebody will go in and finish the car to make sure that it's
Really?
safe to be
Okay.
released to the public. Because the last thing we want to do is have an event talking about safety and the proper way to do something, and we release a car back into
Mm.
the general population, and then somebody gets hurt from it, because that would not be a very good look. But that's where they all come from, and as the competition grows more and more, I will say in the future, people coming to compete, please come and compete. But there's a chance you're not going to have the same vehicle. The
Hmm.
difficulty level is taken into account during judging. I do know that as being a past judge, not this year, but last year I was a
Uh-huh.
judge. So the level of vehicle's difficulty comes into play as far as your scoring goes, and with your time and everything. So that is taken into consideration. But yeah, it's such a fun event, such a great event, and I'm hoping it grows and grows and grows. And I'm hoping that more and more countries either participate in ours or get their own,
Hmm.
have their own, because that's where it breeds that will to be better. There
Oh
comes a
yeah.
point in your profession where you've been doing it a very long time, and then you're just kind of like burn out a little bit, and you're just like, oh, this is good enough. But then you get that little added, like, man, I want to see where I
Hmm.
stack up against. That's where we're so lucky because other professions don't have this. Is where we stack up against the rest of the world in our field, and it's a great event, and I hope to see more and more coming from it.
Mm.
So
I mean, there were even technicians from South Korea. I was blown away by that as well. But I wanted to pass my respect that it takes courage to, be a part of the competition, see what they're actually capable of, because being in the comfort zone, which is, the go-to place for almost every human, you do your job, you think you're doing quite well, you're getting paid, but, there's something inside you saying that, I want to test myself. I have the courage to test myself and raise the standards and bars for me and my company that I work for or I have created. It's so cool.
yeah, and I appreciate you saying that because that is one thing that the keyboard warriors and people off to the side don't understand is like you're standing on the side and you're like, oh, I wouldn't have done it like that, or I wouldn't have done it like that, or why is he doing that, or why is she doing it? And it's like you've got 300 plus people watching you, and you got
Hmm.
four judges, your proctor, and you're underneath the lights, and it's a big event, and you're trying to put all those nerves aside, and like that is one thing. That is one thing where athletes in this field who have transferred from being into our field from
Hmm.
being an athlete at any level, they understand that level of pressure, and then they're the ones that seem to rise a little bit more
Yeah.
because of the fact that if you've been into, like, let's say you played football, both either style, European or American, you
Yeah.
know that you're under the lights, you're under scrutiny from everybody you watch, so you
Hmm.
kind of learn to put that aside. But it is a very hard competition to get into, not simply because of it's not hard to register for, but it's hard to bring yourself to the floor when every little
Exactly.
move you make is going to be scrutinized by somebody, whether it be a judge, whether it be a spectator, whether it be the proctor, whether it be just
Hmm.
anybody watching online, because it's going to be more and more live streamed in the future. But that's enough about Autoglass Week. Let's talk about your company because you got something that it's revolutionary. I think we have a lot of point of sale systems and we have a lot of systems that do a
Hmm.
lot of things, but what your system does is very unique. So go ahead and let's talk about DriveX and what does it do?
Sure, happy to do so. So first of all, we believe that automation is not a bad thing, even though human relationships are key, especially if you're looking at a smaller or mid-sized company. It all stands on relationships, right? But at the same time, you know, when was the last time we washed your dishes or clothes by hand? I don't remember. Maybe a very special suit I washed by hand. We use the washing machine, right? So we believe that the same principle is used in our operations and business. So why should I do damage assessments manually, looking at photos or asking the information over phone, while I have a system that does it reliably and very accurately? And you will have photos and repair replace decision and maybe even part numbers all done by you. So what this enables for small shops or bigger shops or even big corporations is just to become more effective, understand what jobs are ahead of you. So you wouldn't drive to the customer or the vehicle you think it's a repair, but it actually becomes a replacement. And then you have, lost 1 or 2 hours of your life. And maybe the customer is so disappointed, doesn't come back to your shop. So we help to prevent this situation with our inspection software. So you just do a photo with your smartphone, our AI analyzes the photos and just lets your core system or CSR know what's the job about. So automation is a friend, and then you will have more time to actually build relationships, do more business development with fleets, for example, or insurance companies if you want to. So this is what we're working on.
Okay, if I get to the bare bones of it, to exactly what you're saying, is a
Hmm.
customer calls you and calls your company and they say, hey, I have
Hmm.
what I believe is a repairable chip. I got a rock chip on the road. It seems to be, it's a little bit on the large side, but I believe it's repairable. Then our CSR or our customer service agent
Mm-hmm.
said, well, do me a favor, go ahead and snap a picture of it, which I'm sure there's instructions on which way to
Yep.
angle the camera and all that, and send it to me. And then when that picture is sent to my CSR, then they
Mm-hmm.
send it through the DriveX platform or algorithm, and then that algorithm
Mm-hmm.
says that's repairable or replaceable within like that, right? To where the
Yep.
quote could be made in real time.
Mm-hmm.
And then that, man, that's why'd you come up with that? That's pretty revolutionary, because it is something that we fight with. Because I know for a fact, as being a technician, I've driven out there and being like, yeah, that's not repairable. Like, really? Like, like that, what was the
Mm-hmm.
need? How did you figure out to fill it?
Yeah. It is revolutionary, and actually, we're the best in the world. We're exclusively focusing on this one single problem. And the way we got into this business was actually we were in like general car inspection business. We built a platform for that. But actually, one of our early customers, which is an independent franchise, told us that, hey, we have a really big issue with in glass. And if you look at the insurance market and fleet, one of the most common damages are related to glass. So why not focus on this? So about a year and a half ago, we started to really like going all in, and it's been paying off. And so our most successful customers, they actually have an online booking. They make the booking, they send the inspection link out automatically, and the core system, whether it's a customer relationship management platform or any other, will get the photos, will get the repair replace decision, and changes the job type automatically. So you know what jobs are coming in, or what customer visits you have to do with your mobile repair unit. So automation, and we're already working on new solutions as well, which I hope I can speak soon about.
Yeah, yeah, you gotta tease it a little bit, because I got a teaser that'll go out before this, because I'm working with a few selected tool manufacturers who have reached out to me about offering a discount code and a Black Friday type sale,
Oh
and
wow.
I've got some things working in the background myself to try to really push forward in 2026 with the show and with just a couple different things. So yeah, there's a little teaser for you. There's more coming out. Now you said this will work with any point of sale system. Can this integrate into any, like a Omega, an AGX, what is that? eGlass Direct, a
Uh-huh.
Glass Biller, a Glass Booking, a Glass blah 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 software. This will
Uh-huh.
integrate
Uh-huh.
seamlessly on the front end, or is it something that has to be done on the back end?
Mm-hmm. Great question. We are working towards integration with all the major, I would say, ecosystem players. It's a step-by-step process, but in principle, yes. The answer is yes, it will do that. And right now, we're working on 3 integrations already. So our first customers didn't have any integrations. It's just in their homepage or in their call center for the CSR. So it could be used like that as well. And some players don't even have like a very, I would say, big or advanced tech stack. And that's okay. Maybe that's not needed. Whatever situation the shop is in, whatever software they're using, we can do it. And we are already, and I mean, we're in the United States, Brazil, Europe, Africa. I mean, the problem with glass is so universal and so global, and we are the only one that can do it. But as I said, is a friend.
Mm-hmm.
I would say our goal is not to replace somebody. Our goal is to make them more effective so they can focus on things that really matter, such as building relationships with customers or key accounts.
Yeah. The replace somebody thing is it's interesting, because all the lists and everything is coming out for like Microsoft and a few other, AI is going to replace. And I honestly, AI's got that, you're not longer going to have a CSR. You're no longer going to need a lawyer. You're no longer
Mm-hmm.
going to need this. You just ask AI. And then, well, right now, because it is so new, there's a lot of errors in AI. So you still need that human oversight to make sure that what's getting out there is accurate. Um,
Yep.
but like, I kind of feel it to the turn of like the industrial revolution in like the 40s and 50s, when everybody was like, oh, we're gonna have flying cars, gonna be do this. But then like the microwave came out, and oh, it's going to replace this, and this came out, and oh, it's going to replace
Yeah.
that, and then this. So like, and then back books were damaging young people's minds, and then
Mm-hmm.
it went to
Yes.
televisions were ruining young people's minds, and then it went from to
Mm-hmm.
to the whole now the internet and AI and all this stuff is ruining,
Mm-hmm.
social media is ruining people's minds and it's ruining this, and it's all that doom and gloom forecasting that as a species we've always done to try to protect ourselves against extinction. I guess
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but
Agree.
like how realistic in the next 10 years are we going to see AI replace it? In your opinion, I know that you're an expert in this area, but in your opinion, are we going to see it as an assistant, like an ADAS, a driver assistance
Mm-hmm.
system, or are we going to see it as a total replacement
Mm.
of certain fields?
Sure. I mean, you have all kinds of new technologies. And first of all, accuracy is a real pain point. Like, can I really trust this system? And we have worked on this product for 5 years, even before ChatGPT was a thing, right? It's really not that simple, it turns out, because, a machine is looking at the photo. It doesn't understand at first, the 3D dimensions and, is it dirt or is it reflection on the glass? All that kind of things come into play, right? And we have found out a way to solve this. But secondly, I think some, I would say, really mundane tasks, they call it the dull, dirty, and dangerous. Though this industry will be changed, I would say. For example, cleaning the road, removing roadkill. Like, who wants to do that? Probably only some really weirdos, right? But
Yeah.
not a real person, like a genuine person with empathy wouldn't like to do that. So in these industries, yes, I would definitely say, AI or robots will replace, but um, in our industry, which is related to safety, trustworthiness, transparency, I would say it's an assistant. So I really believe in that, and just allowing your team to do more with just being more effective,
Hmm.
getting a bigger foothold in your region, doing more sales, for example, answering more calls more effectively, getting more leads, and nailing those bookings, right? So it's an assistant that will amplify your business. That's the way I see it.
Okay. Well, that's a great answer because like I was saying, we all kind of wonder, like, oh my goodness. And as far as being a technician, that is something that, is a skill set that is going to be hard to replace by even machine learning and machine, because coming in and taking a molding off that breaks and like all those little nuances that, if you're going to just rip it off and break it and replace it and cost everybody a bunch more money anyways, then, okay, then that machine could probably
Mm-hmm.
do that. But it's all that little, like you said, professionalism, attention to detail, all the little minor things that we have to do that makes us better than a machine currently. Uh, but like someone like me that's a trainer, my knowledge base is already out there on AI. Basic, but that human interaction and mentorship that they get by having me as their trainer and the guidance of asking me a question that I can understand without being so critical on your wording, I think is something
Mm-hmm.
that'll help trainers like myself and humans like myself, still be, relevant and still be, needed, I should say,
Mm-hmm.
because, someone calls me and they're like, a 12 Civic side molding, and I'm like, okay, it comes up like this. Now, if you put that in the AI to get the directions, it's got to be like the A pillar, exterior A pillar, garnish mortar
Mm-hmm.
trim. How do I remove clip one,
Yeah.
two, three? You know what I mean? Like, because of the
Uh-huh.
understanding. And as of right now, AI may not have that capability. It will in the future
Mm-hmm.
because of machine learning. But for right now, I think
Mm-hmm.
we're good for probably another 10 years or
Yeah.
so.
Same here. Same here. But I wanted to jump back like on the origin story because,
Yes.
as a young boy, I was riding on my bicycle and I was making photographs of cars. And my mother used to get really mad at me because, back in the days you had to publish and print those photos. So she was like, you gotta at least, choose a cool car to take a photo of, not two photos of every car. But I still have those albums. And one day I reviewed, what's inside of the album. And I was surprised that several of those, I would say, young timers, I bought those vehicles and drove them. They were so cool. Like the, I don't know, old S-Class Mercedes very cool car. So actually, I've been a car enthusiast. That this brought me into this business in the first place. I was trying to find a problem that could speak to me because building a startup or a technology company is actually very challenging. You know,
Mm-hmm.
our challenge is that you're building a software on your own. We're not relying on ChatGPT. We have our team of engineers, people working, actual universities working with us doing advanced research and development, also patenting, because there are big players out there who want to steal their business, right, on a global level. So what we're up against is, the forces are really, I would say, dangerous, and we have to be very clever and smart. What's our next move? But at the same time, I see that we've done a great job and made the right decisions because it's working out. And it's so cool to think that I do also pictures of cars every day, but not the photo camera anymore. It's an application, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes I just log into the database. I just for fun. It's all protected the database, but for fun, I check out some cool vehicles. I see like Audi R8 or I see a Porsche. I was like, oh my God, so cool.
No, that's impressive because I know like that speaks to a lot of independents who are, we're going against the largers and, the larger
hmm
corporations. So you're protecting your patent, you're independent, you're passionate about it. As far as what you're saying, you go back and you look at cars, a lot of us technicians are car enthusiasts as well.
Yeah.
But the one thing is like most of the technicians that are willing to pass knowledge and we even know that we don't get to install as much as we used to, some of us, we still enjoy it, we still do it for fun. Like, like I know
hmm
a few of us will go out and pull the windshield or door glass out of something just to see how it comes apart and then put it back together, just
Wow.
because it's something we enjoy to do, and just like you enjoy
hmm
looking at the cars, you enjoy applying your
hmm
your skill set to solve a greater problem. So that's awesome. I love the passion. I think a lot of the independents, you need to sell that message. I mean, you
Yep,
really do. So a lot
absolutely.
of the independent auto glass shops, you need to sell that passion that you have for
hmm
our because basically we all have the same interest, which is automobiles and
Yep.
transportation. Period. Whether it's automobiles or semis or
hmm
trains or planes in some instances, boats, but like sell that passion to the independents because it's going to help us all by it's just so cool that I never dreamed of a day where you'd be able to take a picture of a rock chip and then your phone or algorithm will analyze it and then be like, okay, per Rolex standard, blah,
hmm
blah, blah, you
Yep.
can't repair
Yep.
this area, so it has to be
hmm
replaced. Or per, this standard, it's this long, it
Yeah.
can't be, like that is so awesome. Like, I'm very impressed you guys were
Oh
able to do it
yes.
because, like, what you said, the real world application of us looking at it is something that we don't even get right a lot of all the time. So it's
hmm
pretty cool because like you say, it could be dirt, could be reflection, can it be the 3D imaging of it. So that's
Yeah.
awesome. But so you like this, you started it because you found the need and you liked automobiles. Is it just you? Did you just come up with the idea and then bring the team aboard, or was it a group of you and some of your friends?
hmm That's another great story. So I was working for another tech company. I was selling robotics machines. And at some point I was actually leading the Japanese region. My goal as a 25-year-old was to go to Japan and actually meet the largest trading companies, which have like $100 billion revenue, like Mitsubishi, for example. And it's like notoriously hard for you to get the trust and, openness from those Japanese individuals and businessmen. But at some point I was, with the Japanese guys in a karaoke bar, singing together, drinking whiskey. I was like, wow, I was able to do that. Wow. But then COVID hit, and my company I worked for decided that the terms are going to change, and the Japanese market would have taken a long time to get customers and stuff moving. So I decided to quit, and at the same time, I got invited to a hackathon. It's like a event where a big company, actually it was Porsche, gives you like a test assignment. Here are all the startups, start solving this problem. So I invited my colleagues and friends to take part of this competition. And we came up with an idea. I pitched like Porsche executives in Germany. This is our idea. It's all fantastic. Let's do it. And then, we got like third place in the competition, which was, first time for Estonia. And then, it was over. We didn't get any business. So I thought, let's take this idea to the car rental companies because, maybe we're after something. And I remember I didn't have any contacts in the rental industry. I reached out to them cold, like Europcar, Sixt, Avis, all these companies, Hertz. And they told us like, guys, like, you're really cool, but you have a really shitty idea. Like, we don't need that. I was like, oh, damn. Okay. But, since you're quite technical, we have this problem with inspections. Like, would you be able to solve that? I was like, maybe we can. Like, let's try. And at the first, they wanted us to build like a huge camera system where the car drives through. You have like cameras making a lot of photos, detecting damages, and we're all like software guys. We're like, we don't have any hardware guys. Like, we're not able to build this. But what we can build is just an app for your smartphone. Let's start from there, right? And then, one thing led to another, and that's how we got the insight. What's really the problem? How can we go to the market? And then, we focused on glass because, as I said, a small independent company in the global market, we have to really be laser focused. How can we compete with the big guys? So, if we have less of a team, less funding, less years to market, I can compete. So we have 3 co-founders. We have 13 people in the team. Most of them are engineers or internal engineers. And we have a few patents also. So that's how we roll that off the market. So, in the morning, I'm talking to guys in, Korea, for example. In noon, I'm talking to Africa, Europe, and in the evening, I'm having calls with US companies. So that's pretty much my day. And Brazil, yeah.
Yeah, you're an entrepreneur, and from my understanding, like you don't sleep much, especially you being worldwide. I mean, you've got all the time zones to deal with. Like we even had a little glitch in ours because like I think that like
Yeah.
looking back on it, that was my fault because I said Eastern time. And then your assistant just assumed Eastern
Mm.
European time. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So like,
probably, yeah.
yeah, so I was like, oh, like once we look back on it and now we got it situated. So I do
Mm.
appreciate your patience and everything and your understanding and flexibility to be on the show. Because we need as many voices in the industry to get on and talk and be part of the community that we have. So thank you for that. I love the idea. Like it's something that I think a lot of companies can see a great benefit from because the customer service aspect of it, they can focus on the customer part of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you land that call. That's where you close that sale. The sale is not closed by your point of sale system. The sale is not closed by that cost at the bottom of it. The
Mm-hmm.
sale is closed by transparency, human interaction, and the ability to be honest with people. You know, when it comes, like I said, the transparency part, like, okay, well, that isn't repairable. Let's set your expectation. This isn't
Yep.
repairable. We've already analyzed it, so we're not going, like you said, waste your
Mm-hmm.
time coming out there, waste your time you coming in and looking at it, you know, because a lot of it is like, I was going down interstate and I got a chip in my windshield. What can you do it today? Well, then it's always like, well, can you stop by and look at it? Well, now I'd be like, okay, well, if you have a second to pull over, we can tell you right away, you know, here's this link, click on this link, follow the prompts, and it'll send it to me, and then we'll make a decision, right? You know, without you having to drive here
Mm-hmm.
or us to drive to you.
Yep.
Um, and then that way the customer's expectation is set. You know what I mean? Like they're like, okay, now I know I can get it repaired, so go ahead and send a repair tech out, or I'll stop in
Mm-hmm.
and we'll get it taken care of. And then, but yeah, that closing of the sale is human interaction. I feel like there's a lot
Definitely.
that goes into it, and I understand that there's a lot more antisocial people that'd rather deal in text now, but
Like
still
me.
in text. But still in text form, you can add stuff right now. For the most part, you can tell if you're talking to a person or if you're talking to AI, even text. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's great, and I can't wait to see it demonstrated for me because I'm planning on talking to Zuzu Mandadot more to see if he can show
That's
me
it.
some ins and outs of it. And I know our company, we're based out of Canada, the Fixed Network, and so I plan on talking to our higher ups about this technology as well because I think
I
it's
didn't
it would
expect that.
yeah, it would help our franchisees. It would help our corporate shops. It would help, it would definitely streamline some things because we do
Wow.
have a personnel staffing gap. I mean, all
Hmm.
industries do
Hmm.
right now. And
Yeah,
if you could add an assistant to somebody that would make their job more enjoyable, then that honestly could
exactly.
retain an employee.
Yeah. You mentioned something being antisocial, and me being North European, we're very antisocial in that sense because, I mean, we do like online shopping, obviously. We do e-voting. Just today, I voted for the local government. Like, I just logged in online. I do my taxes online. I can register a company in 5 minutes online. Everything was online. I mean, because for us, I was mentioning the robotics company I worked in. We were the first in the world to create like a network of like parcel delivery machines like Amazon has right now. So if I had an online order, I wouldn't have to wait for the courier from DHL or Amazon at my home because I wouldn't know when he or she is coming, right? I have to be home. So the network of parcel networks, machines were there. So it's all about saving time. And for me, if I don't have a fluent and also friendly customer journey, booking a service or talking to a company, I would go away in Europe. Like I would
Mm,
not go there because it's a hassle. And I believe this will happen also in the US because looking at Gen Z or younger generation, they're all texting, they're not calling, they're not visiting someplace. It's all online. Sooner rather than later, you will have this stage as well. And that's where the customer journey has to be professional and also, you know, understanding the customer preference. It's
mm-hmm.
it's about the change. One interesting thing I heard. I was speaking to a company in South Africa, for example. They said, "Oh yeah, our business is that, you know, every week or every month I go to the car rental, station. I don't know which jobs are there for me. I just go check their vehicles, and if I find something, I'll fix it." And I was like, "What the hell? Like, you don't know what job are coming to you. You just go there and hope something." I was like, "This is totally inefficient. Inefficient. Like how? Like, why would you spend your time on this, right?" And the guy goes, "Oh, we've done business for 30 years like this, and it's like really great." I was like, well, how? Like,
Yeah.
why?
How? Are you the only one in town? You're the only option people have? Because if you're given an option of, A or B, and B is the guy that just doesn't know, we've
Hmm.
done it 30 years, then, you're definitely going to go with A, somebody who's more organized and, yeah, and more
Yeah.
professional along the lines. You would think. It does feel like, as a Gen Xer, that our way of um socializing is going by the wayside.
Yeah.
It's definitely like, I have to look back and think about like my parents' generation, the generation before, and they seen us and they were like, oh, it's so just terrible. They don't do
Yeah.
just kid, and then now we're looking at it and seeing, and it's like, oh no, and like so.
Hmm.
I think that as far as Gen X goes, we're a little bit more open minded. I hope to
Hmm.
change and adaptability
Yep.
because we're no longer in the old world. We're a little bit of old world and a little bit of new world, and then
Hmm.
not so much
Sweet
future
spot.
world. Yeah, so we're in a sweet spot. We're no longer we got to think about the future world, but we were lucky enough to see the first of the internet. We all remember dial up, and yeah. So but hopefully, it continues and this makes everybody's life easier, is what I'm hoping with
Hmm.
not just your company, all the companies that are coming out. It kind of feels like the tech bubble again, though, doesn't it?
A little bit. I mean, I look at the stock market. I look at how much hype and that's why I get it. Like some people I talk to, like if I mention even, the two letters AI, they're like, oh my God, like, don't talk to me about this. This is like a total scam. But it's true. It's a bubble. And a lot of companies advertise things that are not possible, or, they oversell and underdeliver. And we have the opposite mentality. Like we actually give a money back guarantee, for example, if you don't have the results yeah, we're so certain that it works, right? But I agree. It's like the dot-com bubble, and you have to be aware that there's like over optimism for most new stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, and just like everything ebbs and flows, you will have the ups and downs and ups and downs.
Hmm.
But with this ups and downs, it's just like the ups and downs that we faced back in the day. The internet didn't go away when the dot-com bubble bursted.
Exactly.
Amazon didn't fold. These other companies didn't fold. It was the ones that were able to adapt and pivot, and
Hmm.
they're the ones that stayed around and made what we have today. So the AI will be the same way, is you'll have and then there'll be a slowdown or something that stabilizes it, and the ones
Yep.
who were truthful, the ones who were adaptable and able to follow through on their promises, like what you're saying there.
Hmm.
You're the companies that are going to stay around and actually progress the future of the next bubble, because there will be another bubble.
Hmm.
We always think that
For
we've
sure.
hit the final we always think we hit the final frontier. There's nowhere else we could go, and then 6 years later it's like, well, actually, we've been
Yeah.
working for the last 6 years on trying to do this, and now we have actually perfected it. So the next big thing is coming. So everybody, embrace this and be open-minded for the next thing that's coming, because it is coming. So all right, we're at
Yeah.
the 40-minute mark. I am going to start to wind down the show a little bit, but I want you to get all of your company information out there, and then send me an email that I can put all your company information in the description and all that on Riverside. But let's go ahead and give the rundown. If you want to give pricing, give pricing. If you don't, that's fine. Just make sure that people can get a hold of you and your product.
Sure. I can explain our pricing model. It's really simple, like Netflix. So you subscribe to a certain amount of inspections per month or per year, depending on the volume. One inspection could cost you $1 or $3, and it's also depending on the complexity. For example, some companies just want a tool to capture photos. They don't even want AI to make the decisions. They just want to get the proof or more visibility on the damage. That's completely fine. And that in that case, the price of the inspection is, of course, even more affordable. So, and we don't have any hidden costs. That's a lot of a common practice that you do price dumping, and then you hit with some, oh, we have this fee and that fee and that fee, and then the prospect is like, if I would have known, I wouldn't sign up for this. So we're all about transparency. I see that our company shares exactly the same values as the industry. We don't do bullshit. We try to add value. If I see that I don't add value, then actually I say it to the prospect. And I say, actually, you're better off with us, or maybe we talk in the future. So I find I would say, brand and yeah, trustworthiness the most important thing in the world.
Okay. How would they get a hold of you to try this? You offered a money back guarantee, which that means a lot to people, like, because a lot of times you're afraid to sign up for a service, because first of all, if
Hmm.
I'm going to sign up for a service, I want to know how I can cancel that service when I am no longer wanting it. That is like any streaming service. I'm like, hey,
Uh-huh.
can I cancel this? Like, am I dedicated for a
Yeah.
year? Like what is so like that's the first thing I look for is
Hmm.
cancellation, in
Yep.
case I don't like it. But I like the money back guarantee. Like, is it a phone call? Is it, obviously it's probably gonna be a
Hmm.
website? Is it easy to
Yeah.
get to? Are you easy to
Remember, I'm
find?
antisocial. I'm
I know,
antisocial, right?
right?
So.
Is it? Are you easy to find? Are you give me the rundown.
Yeah, sure. First of all, we have a website. It's called DriveX.io. Secondly, we have a LinkedIn page. If you check out my profile, Rauno, then you can book a meeting with me directly. I have a link there. And of course, you can send me an email. You can find my contacts on the webpage, and I take also phone calls. So I have a social battery just reserved for the US market. So I can
Yes.
just take the calls. Actually, I love it because people are so open, they're so friendly, they're so enthusiastic. That's something I don't see that much in Europe or in my country. So it actually gives a lot of energy back to me to continue delivering the product, making it better and better every single week.
That's awesome. I will go ahead and restate something. You said it's drivex.io.
Yes.
Okay, so it's not .com, all of my fellow Americans and people around the world that's used to hitting .com. DriveX.com will probably
Uh-huh.
take you somewhere different. It's
Yep.
drivex.io. Remember that because
Hmm.
that's huge. My buddy owns a photography shop in Berlin. And so like every time I have to type his address in, like I'm like DominicDupont.com, I'm like, oh no, it's not that, Dominic. So like I
Yeah.
have to kind of remember that, different parts of the world
Hmm.
have different connections on
Domains.
their yeah,
Hmm.
domains. There we go. Domains. Thank you. My brain was starting to shut off, and I'm glad you seen that right there. So thank you, because it does that from time to time. Like I don't know why I start to dwindle, and I'm like, oh, I'm thinking too hard, so my speech slows down. This has been great. I am so glad that you came on my show. I'm so glad I got to meet you in person beforehand. That
Yep.
was so cool. I enjoyed Autoglass Week, seeing you there, seeing, just everybody come together. Uh, and hopefully we'll see you again in the future. And if you're at Autoglass Week next year, make sure that you stop and you say hi to me. Do not just,
I will be
walk by,
there, but I
even though
have
you're
one problem.
antisocial.
How do how do I find a equally cool suit? That's my problem because
Oh,
I can't be looking regular like I'm right now. I mean, you up the
oh,
game. You set the
you have
standard.
to. You have to. It is like, and the story behind that, like, I don't know if you've heard it or not. A lot of people have heard it, and they're kind of, probably getting tired of it. But so coming up as an athlete in different forms of it, you showed your competitors respect by wearing a suit.
Mm,
You
mm,
showed your
mm-hmm.
competitors respect by wearing a suit. And I always like doing something a little different. So in 21, when I took third place in the Tech Olympics, I didn't have any suits with me because we just got off of a 2-week bicycle ride. So I had a Hawaiian shirt, and everybody else was just
Yeah.
wears their uniform to it. And then in 23, I took a suit in 22, but I didn't make the finals, so I didn't. But in
Hmm.
23, to show respect to my fellow competitors, because I made the finals, I wanted to show up to the banquet in a suit. I love a suit. It's respect. It is camaraderie. It's like, listen,
Yep.
you have a skill set. I have a skill set. I respect you for what you do. So I'm going to look nice. I'm going to look presentable for that. So, but pink's my favorite color. So I show up in a pink suit, and then it kind of took hold. And then I have a bunch of suits at the house and a bunch of different colors. Like I have my business suits that are gray, black, what is it,
My
navy
God.
blue, like the normal. But then I have my
Hmm.
suits that I love to wear, that I enjoy to wear, the bright, colorful. So, you can get, like, I got most of my suits locally. I have gotten a few off of
Hmm.
Amazon. They fit fine, but I got most of my suits locally. And then my friend, he got us actual jackets this year for the champion. So my pink jacket's all
Mm,
sparkly and everything now. So it's very awesome. Like it's very cool.
it
So
is.
yeah, I love, Jason Martin, Melissa Martin, Tucker Martin. They did that for us, and I definitely love them for it. It was awesome. But yeah, come in a suit, come decked out. I told everybody this year, come to shine. Like, let's show the world that we, whether it's bright, beautiful
Hmm.
colors on your team. I don't know if you've seen the competitor. Did you see the competitor that I sponsored this year, Tommy?
Yeah, I
He
did.
had the bright pink "Put 'em on the Glass" podcast,
Yeah.
work shirt and everything. Because it's like that's what I like. I like the bright, bold,
Hmm.
beautiful. Come make some noise, come cheer for everybody, and just let's be respectful. So please show up in a nice, bright suit. That would be awesome.
Sure. Let's do it. So I
Let's do
loved
it.
being in the show and see you, if not sooner, then next time in the US.
Yeah. Hey, the next time you're in the U.S., especially if you're on the East Coast or in Ohio or something, just give me a shout. We'll definitely have lunch. So, all
Thank you.
right, everybody. This has been James the Ghost Set Killer, and my guest again has been.
Rauno Sigurd.
There we go. Hey, everybody. Thank you again. Thank you for watching this week's show with DriveX. I just wanted to take a second at this to do this ending. It's been a second since I've done an ending or an intro for that matter. I just want to express my heartfelt gratitude to every single listener we have, every single person that watches the videos, every single person that communicates with us. And I got to thank my boy Jorge Sandoval. He's coming in strong with the Spanish edition of our show. So I'm super pumped on that. So if you haven't checked that out, check it out. And if you can't speak Spanish, I guess just sit there and listen and see if you can figure it out. Like I announced at the intro, tool sales are coming. My God, that was nasally. Sorry, it's really early in the morning here. So the tool sales are coming up. And also always I'm dabbling with some shirt sales too. So that's in the future. Potentially a donate button, website. There's a couple things in the mix. Potentially an application, bunch of different things that I'm trying to get my head wrapped around right now to provide. But the best thing you can do to support this show, as always, is invest in yourself, invest in this craft, invest in your communities, because that's where the heart of our sales are. So once again, thank you for listening to this week's show with DriveX. And everybody, I love you and take care of yourself.